Welcome to Making the Most of Your Gap Year. My name is Carol Huang, and I am the Career Counselor Coordinator for Education and Human Services at UCSB Career Services. Today's agenda is to first define the gap year, discuss benefits and considerations, how to plan your gap year, and what options you may have to start making that opportunity into a reality. As you approach graduation, you may be thinking about how you might spend some time off before going to graduate school or pursuing a career position. You might be thinking of doing something in the interim to prepare you for your next career move. So, what is the gap year? A gap year is a period of time taken to travel, work, or volunteer, and it's becoming an increasingly popular option. It may last up to 1 year or more, and you can complete various experiences which we will further discuss into the presentation. This is usually time taken to prepare for graduate school or career-related opportunities, and it's taken between the end of undergraduate education and the beginning of your first full-time job or graduate school. Throughout this presentation, I will generally refer to this time that you decide to take off broadly as the gap year, whether that time is very short, such as a month to 3 months, or if it's time taken off for a year or more. So what are some benefits and considerations? Here are some things that you may want to think about before taking time off. What are the benefits? And what do you hope to achieve during that time off? Some professionally oriented benefits may be helpful for your long-term career orientation. You may want to take a gap year or gap years to explore interests and develop ideas for your future career goals. You can use this period to gain clarity on the reasons and needs to go to grad school or not, and you may discover that graduate school isn't needed or right for you, or you may conclude that it is the best next destination for your career pursuits. Many positions in the field of education and human services do require additional schooling, but not all positions do. Figuring out what it is that you're truly interested in will help you decide what type of grad program to pursue if you decide to pursue graduate school at all. Next, you may want to gain experience and use your gap year to gain experience, whether it is in your field of interest or not. This can give you time to explore and identify your career options. Perhaps you have thought about what area you're generally interested in, but haven't had the opportunity to gain experience in that field yet. The gap year is a great time to obtain any experiential hours you might want to have in order to gain insight on whether or not you see yourself doing the type of work that interests you. You may also want to use this time to obtain skills or knowledge that are related or not related to your future career. Some programs or graduate school programs favor applications that have work experience, and so this is the time where you will have an opportunity to enhance your skills for a competitive workforce. You may also consider a gap year if you want to recover from academic burnout. Taking a break from school can help you refresh before going back. And graduate school can be a deeply intensive learning experience, so taking time off can help you recharge. You may also decide to take time off to make money to help fund graduate school and/or study and take admissions exams. The gap year may also give you more time to prepare your application material. During your gap year, you may also develop or strengthen your relationship with supervisors and professors whom you will ask letters of recommendations from. Gap years can also be personally fulfilling and enriching. It can help you further develop your maturity and help you become a more well-rounded person. You can also obtain a cultural exchange experience if you are traveling or working internationally. You may have the opportunity to also make an impact on an organization that you care about, or for a cause that you care about during your time off. You can meet new people and develop a larger network that could lead to future opportunities. And perhaps you can do something that you want to do that you may not have time for later. So, what are some major considerations? Here are some things or additional concerns that you may want to also consider before you go on your gap year. Some potential challenges to taking a gap year include you may find it difficult to get back into the academic mindset or retain the academic momentum. You could also run the risk of not making meaningful use of your gap years and risk losing sight of the end goal along the way. Undergraduate accomplishments might not seem as impressive on a graduate school application a year or a couple years later unless they are augmented by a fantastic gap year experience. And for some, the distance from the faculty letter of recommendation writers that you have, if you aren't applying directly to graduate school immediately after graduating, may make it a little bit more difficult for faculty members to remember all of your accomplishments. And so sometimes it may be helpful for you to first talk to faculty members about your decision to go to graduate school, and also to talk to them about your future career goals before you leave. And for some, faculty or family and supporters may heavily rely on you to provide a stable income after graduation. And this can be disheartening, even if the gap year turns out to be the best financially sound decision to make. You need to have a deep discussion with your family about what taking a year off might mean for your future career goals and explain those benefits to your family clearly. Ultimately, understanding your unique circumstances for any challenges you might face before you decide to take a gap year and during your gap year, as well as the benefits that come with doing so, are up to you to assess and determine. Now, if you find yourself in the position where you need to have a discussion with your family about taking time off from school or your first full-time position, understand that your family might express reluctance with the idea, be more conservative about the idea. They may be unfamiliar with the concept of a gap year or gap years, and they may be hesitant with you pursuing a non-traditional or unstable job choice for the interim. Thus, help your family understand why you're taking a gap year and what benefits are. Some common misconceptions about taking a gap year are: one, the gap year is just a one-year vacation. Your family and future employers may not be pleased to hear that you took a gap year for fun. They do, however, want to know that there is a purpose and goal attributed to your experience and how that will influence your career trajectory. Thus, make sure you provide a strong rationale for taking a gap year and prepare for it. Perhaps participating in pre-existing programs or working with experienced, reputable agencies provide more comfort and skill building to you. Your family and future employers may then feel more comfortable with your decision. You can also consider planning your own experience, but you want to make sure that you conduct that experience very thoughtfully. The next misconception is that you won't ever apply for a real job or graduate school. Make sure that you clarify your program or career of choice before you share your decision to take a gap year. Some programs offer educational benefits during or after the program, and it could help you if you're planning to go to graduate or professional school at some point in the foreseeable future. Now let's talk about gap year plans. Why do you want to take a gap year? And how do you plan for it? Identify and clarify your goals and start planning ahead. Make sure that you know what your goals are and make them SMART. That is, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Do you want to travel? Are you interested in earning money? Do you want to volunteer or gain experience? Consider your personality, interests, and goals when you're making that decision. And determine what those things are at the start to make the most of your gap year. Plan ahead. Avoid missing deadlines to programs or fellowships. Obtain any travel documents that you may need if you are planning to go abroad. Save money and anything else that you might need to do ahead of time. Decide a start and end date. This will help you stay on track with your career goals. Prepare for your post-gap year. So during that time when you're doing your gap year, work on applications for grad school or full-time jobs related to your career interests. Now, budgeting and financial planning. What options do you have that are financially feasible? Make sure you figure out how much taking a gap year will cost in terms of actual dollars and the opportunity costs associated with the experiences you choose to participate in. Some programs offer scholarships or grants after completion, but many may not. Some may offer stipends, assistance with visas, or placement assistance. Some may also offer help with health insurance or different types of insurance. So figure out the details and then make some strategic decisions. Now let's talk about researching programs and options. Choose the one that makes the most sense for you. But first, you may want to know what types of options are available. International and national opportunities. For example, you can teach English or another subject abroad or in the US. You can do a paid or unpaid internship. These may be placement-based, or you may search independently for options related to your field of interest. You can do volunteered or service positions with environmental, educational, nonprofit, humanitarian, and or religiously affiliated organizations internationally or in the US. You can also look into fellowships, and these vary depending upon the program. They could be research projects, apprenticeships, short-term field placements, etc. You can also study abroad. Perhaps you want to complete your degree through the UCSB program or find another entity after you graduate that provides study abroad opportunities. You may also think about completing a graduate program abroad. But if you decide to do that, check to see if your degree would be transferable or valuable for future employment opportunities that you seek. You can also travel to experience the world and engage in cultural exchange. And you may want to seek short-term work or temporary work domestically or abroad that have a specific end date as well if you are thinking about going back to school. So, regardless of what you decide for your options, take a look at the details. Creating your list of priorities will make it easier for you to decide later on when you have the options in front of you. Assess the program fees and the benefits to see if the programs fit your goals. And then research the program's reputation and history to make the most of your experience. Talk to people who have experienced or participated in the program before, or find more information about them online. It is helpful often to know what you're getting yourself into before you get started. Now, here are some programs and resources for education and human services to get you started. If you're thinking about going abroad, check out Going Global. It is a resource that you can access through Handshake to obtain country-specific career advice for many different countries and global cities. You can also look into bunac.org, which is an organization that offers a wide range of work, intern, and volunteer abroad options all over the world. It is a nonprofit that aims to help young people work and volunteer abroad, and it offers programs in destinations such as Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Britain, and Ireland. You can also look into iesec.org, and it is an international non-governmental and not-for-profit that provides young people with leadership development, cross-cultural global internships, and volunteer exchange experiences across the globe. You may also look into Inter-Exchange, and Inter-Exchange is a non-profit organization and J-1 visa sponsor designated by the U.S. Department of State, and it manages cultural exchange programs for participants from more than 60 countries who work in the U.S. and in short-term positions lasting from 4 months to 18 months, and for Americans who work and volunteer abroad. Wolf organizations connect people who want to live and learn on organic farms and small holdings with people who want to share their lifestyles, teach new skills, and volunteer. You can look into places where you can do wolfing in Africa, the Americas, Asia, Europe, the Middle East, and Oceania. You can also look into mega sites for different opportunities and utilize things like goabroad.com or transitionsabroad.com. If you're thinking about preparing to become a teacher, you can consider teaching in the U.S. short-term by doing things like teacher in residence jobs, such as Urban Teachers or Achievement First, Teach for America, and you can also consider substitute teaching, which you should have a bachelor's degree for. You can also teach abroad. Teaching abroad can be an option for those who want a cultural immersion experience and gain cross-cultural teaching experience. If you're interested in this option, know that different countries have different requirements and different teaching opportunities do as well. So before you go, narrow down a location and research the culture and country that you want to teach in. Some programs will walk you through the process, while others opportunities will require you to do a lot of the work to apply and get there. Take note of the different certifications that you might or might not need depending on the experience. You want to search for reputable teaching certification programs, such as the Oxford Seminars or EuroTEFL.com. And there are also some programs that don't require a teaching certification, such as the JET program. You can also look into teachforall.org and its partner programs. Teach for All is a global network of 50 independent, locally led and funded partner organizations whose shared mission is to expand educational opportunities around the world, and by increasing and accelerating the impact of social enterprises that are cultivating the leadership necessary for change. And you can also use Go Abroad or teachaway.com for more information about various opportunities to start your research for teaching abroad. You may also consider volunteer or service-based programs such as Peace Corps, AmeriCorps, City Year, Green Corps, or more. So the Peace Corps is a volunteer program that's run by the U.S. government, and its mission is to provide social and economic development abroad through technical assistance while promoting understanding between Americans and the population served. The pros of this is it offers things like fellowships, MA programs. It allows you to have language training and have no compete status for 1 year for federal positions. Similarly, AmeriCorps is another volunteer program with various opportunities that you can do, and it also offers things like student loan deferment, skills training, living allowances, and educational awards as well. City Year is a program that allows you to provide a year of service to schools by supporting students' academic and social-emotional development, while also providing schools with the additional capacity to enhance their culture and climate. And then Green Corps is an environmental organization in the U.S. that trains recent college grads in 1-year post-grad programs in grassroots community organizing. So during that program, Green Corps organizers learn in the classroom, and they are deployed to work in fields to work on campaigns. If you're looking to volunteer or do service-based programs, you can also look at Volunteer Abroad and Idealist.org for more opportunities. Just make sure that you're aware of fundraisers or organizations that may require a fee to participate, and watch out for those. The next thing that you can look into are fellowships, and these are short-term opportunities that last from a few months to several years. They usually focus on professional development, and they're sponsored by a specific organization seeking to expand leadership in their field. Some options are included are things like the National Service Programs, Fulbright Program, Capital Fellows, which is out of Sacramento, the San Francisco Fellows Program, the Coral Fellows Program, Humanity in Action Fellows, and the Greenlining Institute. And this is just some options, but there are a lot more fellowships than this. So you may want to do some more research to find one that could fit you. You may also want to think about additional skill building or educational opportunities. UC Extension Centers offer continuing educational opportunities in a variety of areas depending on the campus. Many opportunities are geared towards professional certifications or skills building. Community college certificates can also offer continuing opportunities for you to enhance your career or take additional prerequisite courses to prepare you for graduate or professional school. And then you may want to think about post-baccalaureate programs for psychology, because they prepare students who have a bachelor's degree in any discipline to seek additional preparation for psychology-oriented programs and or careers. So make sure that whatever you decide, you research the program and choose the one that makes the most sense for you. Make your gap year or gap years enriching by engaging in experiences that enhance your professional development and personal development if possible. And make a plan for yourself and get excited for what's ahead for you. So this brings us to the end of the presentation portion of this workshop. Please stay for the group Q&A. I'm now stopping the recording and opening it up for questions, and you may now join in with video and audio as well as type your questions into the chat box. This portion is meant to be a group conversation, and my hope is that we can support each other and provide answers and ideas for each other by talking through some of the questions, myths, challenges that we may have, and sharing our successes and tips for each other as we approach searching for various opportunities, as well as planning for an effective gap year.